Captain Peter Cutsey, Part 3, in the normal procedures in sequence. Preliminary pre-flight procedure. IRS mode selectors off, then nav. Off, then nav. Verify the DC, on DC lights, illuminate, then extinguish. They did. Verify the align lights are illuminated. They are. The enable required nav performance RMP message may show until IRS alignment is complete. That message is not present at this time. Voice recorder is needed on certain types, and it's not present in this particular model. Oxygen pressure, check and make sure there is sufficient for flight. It varies dependent on the number of crew members. Hydraulic quantity check, no RF. Engine oil quantity, 13 quarts for this engine type. We have 17 quarts. So the engine type, it varies. Do the following remaining actions after a crew change or maintenance action. Note, the following pressure drop test only needs to be performed at one station. So we're looking at the first officer station. Oxygen pressure drop test. Note the crew oxygen pressure. So we've looked up and we've noted it. And the oxygen mask stowed and door closed. It is. Test reset switch, push and hold. That's the test reset here. And verify the yellow cross shows momentarily in the flow indicator. We'll say it does. And then the emergency test selector, which is here, continue to hold the test reset simultaneously with the emergency test selector for 5 seconds and verify the yellow cross shows continuously in the flow indicator. We'll say it does. And verify the crew oxygen pressure does not decrease more than 100 psi-G. So we've looked up and we saw that it didn't drop more than 100. If the oxygen cylinder valve is not in the full open position, pressure can decrease rapidly or decrease more than 100 psi or increase slowly back to normal. Then release the test reset switch and the emergency test selector, which we have, and verify the yellow cross does not show in the indicator. It no longer shows. The normal 100% switch, which is over here, 100%. Crew oxygen pressure check. Verify the pressure is sufficient for dispatch. So remember, if you have 2 crew members on board, there is a chart in the FPPM of this particular airline's manuals, and similar with others, where you can actually check the required minimum depending on the temperature outside and also depending on the number of crew members. If you have a 3rd crew member on the flight deck, your minimums will be greater. So that is important to note. The next part of this preliminary pre-flight is maintenance documents check. So we've gone from the oxygen panel to maintenance documents, and then the flight deck access system switch, guard closed. And the actual switch is here, guard closed. Emergency equipment check, check for the fire extinguishers, check for bottle pressure and stowed, crash axe stowed, escape ropes stowed. ELT guard closed. Verify that the ELS light remains extinguished. Well, let's go up and have a look at that. The ELT guard is closed, and verify the ELS light is extinguished. The PSEU, verify that it's extinguished here. GPS, ILS, and GLS lights would be in this area here if installed, and verify that they are in fact extinguished. Then we go next to the service interphone and make sure the service interphone is off, and it is. The engine panel is next. Verify the reverser lights are extinguished. They are. Verify the engine control lights are extinguished. They are. And verify the EE switches are on. And they are. The landing gear indicator lights, verify illuminated. Flight recorder switch, guard closed, and it is. Mach airspeed warning test. Now I'm going to turn the sound back on so that we can see if we can actually hear it. We did the Mach airspeed warning test, pushed one at a time, and we verified that the clapper sounded. And we did the stall warning test switches, push one at a time, and verify that each control column vibrates when the respective switch is pushed. So that checks. Now, the other thing that we have to remember is that if the stall warning test didn't check, there are a few things that could have caused that. The reasoning behind this is electrical power has got to be established on the AC transfer buses for at least 4 minutes, otherwise the check won't work. Or if that's not the case, it could be due to leading edge flaps drooping, which would require maintenance clearance to turn on the System B hydraulic pump, pressurize System B, and once that's done, then turn off System B and or leave it on, I should say, do the check, and you should get a normal stall warning test, and then depressurize System B. Here is the note that I was just referring to. So these two notes are important. And then you go to the circuit breaker panel on P6 and check all the circuit breakers. That's the panel behind the first officer. And then the manual gear extension door, access door, make sure it's closed. It's on the floor, just to the left of the first officer's seat. Here's the door. There's a Zeus fastener here. Make sure that it's latched, because if it's not latched closed, you won't be able to get the gear up after takeoff. So that's important. So after you've checked that, then we'll go to the circuit breakers on on the center pedestal and make sure they're in on the control stand, and then P18. Circuit breakers are below this edge. We can't see them here on the control pedestal. And this is the P18 panel here behind the captain. So make sure those circuit breakers are checked. Parking brake as needed, normally set, and remember that the brake wear indicators have to be checked on a walk around, and in order for them to read properly, the parking brake must be set. This concludes the preliminary pre-flight procedure. See you in the next video.